As you know, the brothers have a big family. And I'm proud and happy to invite a very close friend, a fantastically intelligent, inspiring, and impatient woman to the board, Anna Jochnick.
Thank you, Alexander, and good morning. So before I start to talk to you about what I was planning to talk to you about, I just had to add something to what Alexander was saying. And so this was a difficult week for us all, but it was especially difficult for Robert and his sons and their families. But it was also a very special week because it showed us the power of togetherness. So we are a very big and close family, our families, but even all our cousins. And we were united this past week in our strength and in our energy in sending that to Robert to make him better. And there was power in that energy. And if there's anything I want you to take with you and start this year with, it's the power of togetherness, one of our core values that Robert and Jonas founded for this company and somehow for our family as well. And you are all fantastic ambassadors of this core value, togetherness. But find even more strength, find even more energy, find even more happiness in working together and supporting one another, because we are strong together. We are strong together, and there is power in togetherness. And above all, it will help you even more. It has helped us through this past week, and it would make Robert and Jonas very, very proud. So, the power of togetherness. Now I'm going to talk about what I was planning to talk about. So some of you may know me, or some of you know me. Many of you have probably seen me around over the years at conferences, not as many conferences as Alexander. But I thought I would maybe tell you a little bit about myself. And since we always talk about dreams here in Oriflame, I thought I would share with you what one of my my first childhood dream was. It was actually to become a private detective. I'm serious. You know, like FBI, CIA, have you seen the show CSI? Something like that. I wanted to solve crimes. And so as a child, I actually wrote numerous papers, you know, one was about who and how JFK was murdered. One was about who murdered our Swedish Prime Minister, Olof Palme, in 1986, which still today is a mystery, and I have my theory. Do you remember what your childhood dream or dreams were? Do you?
Oriflame.
Do you remember what was at the heart of it? What it was that made you passionate about that dream? Yes. So, for me, it was all about the adventure. There was something about the mystery, solving a mystery, about all the unanswered questions and the clues and the possible answers. I really found it thrilling. Now, I didn't end up becoming an FBI agent or a private detective, although I think that would have been a very good one. Instead, the choices I made led me to begin working with Oriflame. Almost now. Well, 10 years ago, back in 2008, I joined as an employee. And you might be thinking, well, that doesn't sound as adventurous or mysterious as private detective, because I have asked myself the same question. But in all honesty, I think I have experienced far more adventure, far more problem solving, and excitement working for Oriflame than I ever would have as a private detective. Because from what I hear, it all looks really exciting in the films, but in real life, not a lot happens. It's a lot of paperwork, not so much action. Which is definitely not the case in Oriflame, because here, everything happens, including even solving or some mysteries. So I'm going to tell you a story now. When I was working as area sales manager back in 2011, in an area north of Stockholm called Dalarna, I had a leader by the name of Liselott. And she called me one day, crying, sobbing, actually hysterical. And I was thinking, oh no. She didn't get the number of recruits she had wanted at the event I knew she was hosting the night before. That's what I was thinking. Why else would she be so upset? But actually, she was sobbing because her cat of 15 years was missing. And the rumors were that her cat, this was a very small town in Dalarna called Grycksbo, and the rumors were that this cat had been seen with this couple who had come into town in a kind of a trailer truck, you know, these mobile homes that you can sleep in, cook in, and travel around in. And that this couple had taken her cat when they had left town. And so Liselott, she couldn't focus on anything else. She was devastated. And so for the next 24 hours, I became an Oriflame cat detective. So I put up pictures and posters of this cat. I was interviewing around this trailer park with people who had seen something. I was calling people in this town, and at the end of my first day as cat detective, I had 0 leads. I was not a very good detective. And now, and so the next morning, Liselott called me, and she's sounding quite normal. She's not at all as upset and almost a bit remorseful. And she says, Anna, I found Maja-Lisa, the name of her cat. And I said, that's great. And she said, yes, I found her in my shed. So the shed is where she keeps her gardening tools, right next to her house, basically, a little wooden hut. So it turns out, Liselott had gone in there a couple days before. The cat had run in after her. She hadn't seen it. And she had gone out, closed the door, and voila, the cat had been in the shed for the past 48 hours. Mystery solved. Yeah. It was not me who solved it. But, so why am I telling you the story about a cat gone missing that in the end wasn't even missing? Because I thought I would only fulfill my dream and my love for adventure if I became a real detective. When in the end, I've been fortunate enough to have been born into a company that is nothing but adventure. Because if I think there's anything we can all agree on here today, is that Oriflame is full of adventures. The destinations we go to, the wonderful people we meet and who create moments in our life and memories, the experiences we gain from reaching, sometimes not reaching goals and milestones that we set up for ourselves, but it's full of adventures. And here we are in Sydney, my first time in Sydney, the land of adventure, of poisonous snakes and animals and wonderful landscapes. And I would actually like to ask you to, during these days in Sydney, reflect on what Oriflame adventures you have experienced over your years. But more importantly, what Oriflame adventures you are planning for 2019. And how you are going to prepare for those adventures. And I'm asking you this because these are the same questions I'm asking myself in preparation for my next big adventure. And that adventure has to some extent already begun, and that is the one of joining my adventurous soul and cousin here, Alexander and Robert, on the board. And also taking over from Jonas, who is 81 years old today, very strong, but with the privilege of age, has the right to work a little less, travel not as far. But he has had nothing but pure adventure in his 51 years in Oriflame, in all of the different roles that he has had. And I don't know what adventures this role is going to have in store for me, but considering, since it's Oriflame, I'm pretty sure it's going to involve just about everything, except maybe looking for lost cats. But I'm preparing myself. I'm preparing myself for the opportunities, I'm preparing myself for the challenges, and I'm preparing myself for the unexpected. And so now that you know my next big adventure, I want you to tell me, I want you to come and find us and tell us what your next adventure in Oriflame is. Because we want to support you. That's why we're here, to support you in your continued future Oriflame success and in reaching the goals you want to reach. And lastly, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, and coming from Jonas as well, we're so proud of you. Congratulations for your fantastic efforts during 2018, for being where you are today. Now let's have a fantastic week together. Let's find power in togetherness. And let's look forward to some amazing adventures in 2019. Thank you.